Well, it's finally here. John Cena's final ever WWE match has almost arrived. After a year-long retirement, Cena is set to retire at Saturday night's main event versus Gunther. Join us now as we look at the last-minute rumors and predictions you need to know for Saturday night's main event 2025. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. And we will start off with the predictions first, as the first match is Bayley vs Sol Ruca. Despite limited build, Bayley vs Sol Ruca has major potential to be one of the best women's matches of 2025. Bayley will want to make Ruca look like an absolute star, and Ruca has some tremendous matches on the NXT brand throughout 2025. This could in fact act as her official call-up to the WWE main roster, and this call-up was even rumored at one stage before WWE kept her in NXT another few months. Now, all signs point towards Ruca getting a huge win, and it's likely going to end with Bayley raising her arm high in the air in the show's opening contest. Our prediction: Sol Ruca defeats Bayley. Next up is AJ Styles and Dragon Lee taking on Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Our fans were really pushing for WWE to add this specific match to the final card, and the fact they did shows that WWE do indeed listen to the feedback of fans on social media, even if it is through Triple H's burner account. This is a match that could be a presentation of what the future of the tag division is going to look like in the next few years, as Evans and Slater are no doubt destined for great things in their respective companies. WWE deserves credit for booking a TNA talent in Slater on the card, and TNA continues to see benefits of the relationship with WWE. Now, it seems that AJ Styles and Dragon Lee will likely get the win, but this is no doubt going to include a star-making performance from both Evans and Slater. Our prediction: AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defeat Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Next up is Cody Rhodes vs Femi, champion versus champion. It's all but confirmed Femi is the undisputed future of WWE. At just 27 years of age, Femi has every tool it takes to reach the very top of WWE, and we have countless top WWE names, including Big E actively labeling the current NXT champion as the future of the company. Cody Rhodes vs Femi doesn't just act as a champion versus champion matchup, it acts as a defined opportunity for WWE to directly tell the audience that Femi is the guy. Granted, there are some that will want to protect Rhodes, and this is understandable. Rhodes is still the face of WWE, and he is the reigning WWE champion. Rhodes getting squashed may impact his credibility, so we should probably rule out that kind of drastic finish. However, WWE has so many options when it comes to Femi, and here are 3 sensible routes WWE could take. The first is that Oba wins clean. Following a back and forth battle, Femi simply pins Rhodes clean. Rhodes can then endorse Femi after the matchup, signaling to the audience that he is indeed the future of the business. The question is, does this make Rhodes look weak? It depends on how Rhodes is presented in the match, and it may be wise if WWE ran with an injury angle, as perhaps Rhodes could go hurt into the matchup thanks to Drew McIntyre. The second option is that Oba wins thanks to shenanigans. One of the ways WWE may look to have Femi victorious is by having him win thanks to interference. And we all know where that interference is going to come from, as Rhodes is currently in the midst of a blood feud with Drew McIntyre, and this could culminate in McIntyre interfering and costing Rhodes this huge matchup. But the issue with this booking is that Femi winning thanks to outside interference doesn't benefit him in any way. Yes, he's defeated the face of WWE, but it was far from clean, so what would be the point? And the third option is that Cody wins. Now, it's entirely possible that WWE just has Rhodes win clean, and then he endorses Femi after the matchup. There's nothing wrong with this outcome, as Rhodes knows how to make other wrestlers look good, but due to the show being about the future of WWE, it would be nice to see Femi secure the 1-2-3. WWE also has an opportunity to deliver the Kevin Owens vs John Cena style moment a decade later this weekend. When Owens defeated Cena at the 2015 Elimination Chamber show, it defined his WWE run. In 2025, it was still being mentioned as Owens' career highlight, and there's no reason that WWE couldn't follow a similar pathway for Rhodes and Femi's matchup. Some fans on social media stating that Femi shouldn't win, and it's obvious that he isn't going to be called up to Raw or SmackDown just yet. However, names have been called up whilst being reigning NXT champion, and one of the key names to do this was Owens back in 2015 during his feud with Cena. Even if Femi isn't yet destined for a main roster call-up, this is a feud that could easily be revisited sometime in 2026. When Femi is eventually called up, he has a guaranteed shot at Rhodes and the WWE title. Rhodes' back is already against the wall, as he knows that Femi can defeat him in that big match environment. Our prediction: Femi defeats Cody Rhodes. Now it's time for the main event, and it's John Cena vs Gunther in John Cena's final ever WWE match. Now this is it, the final match of John Cena's career. After wrestling names all year such as Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk and Brock Lesnar, his final ever matchup will be against Gunther. Interestingly, this was the matchup that was rumoured for Cena's send-off back in summer, so WWE sticking to a plan is extremely rare, especially in the modern era. There is a lot of debate surrounding whether or not Gunther is the right call. Gunther is one of the best in-ring workers in WWE, and he's sure to give Cena a classic matchup. The issue, at least according to some fans, is that Cena should be elevating someone on his way out, and Gunther is already a former two-time world champion, so we can't really get much higher and get the rub. Fans believe the names that retired Cena should have been names such as Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, or even Femi. However, we've seen time and time again that it's hard to capitalize on a retirement match victory, and the only thing that's at the level of retiring one of the greatest of all time is perhaps winning a world title at Wrestlemania. And if this strong booking isn't planned, it makes the huge win completely pointless. Now, the story heading into the match is going to focus on Cena potentially tapping out. Cena's whole character revolves around him never giving up, and Cena wants to make the GOAT tap out in his final ever matchup. And knowing WWE and knowing Cena, it wouldn't come as a shock to see Cena tap out to Gunther. Cena will be looking to give back in any way he can, and if the idea of him tapping out to a sleeper or a choke of any kind is pitched, he will no doubt tap out with honor. The man who says never give up will finally give up. Now this will no doubt annoy a lot of the audience, as WWE has already been heavily criticised for the way they've handled Cena's final run, so WWE should proceed with caution and ensure that Cena is presented the way fans want. Whilst this is all but confirmed that Cena will put over Gunther, there's been a strong push from fans on social media to see Cena pass out rather than tap out, following the motto never give up, even if you pass out. Now this would be way better, and Cena going out in his final match by refusing to give up would be the right message and ultimately be a wholesome metaphor for his entire career. Now there's also a strong chance of blood in this match, and the visual of Cena passing out whilst covered in blood will no doubt be compared to Bret Hart vs Stone Cold from WrestleMania 13, as this is one of the most iconic visuals in wrestling, and it wouldn't be the worst idea for WWE to replicate this very moment. Our final prediction: Gunther wins and John Cena taps out. It's possible that this match takes an entire final hour of the broadcast, as after Gunther defeats Cena, we can surely expect a retirement speech from Cena as he thanks the audience in an emotional send-off to send the crowd home happy. During this highly anticipated retirement speech, WWE may wish to present it similarly to Ric Flair's retirement speech back in 2008, by having Cena interrupted by numerous names from his past. Back in 2008, WWE kept this top secret, and it resulted in one of the most emotional and acclaimed segments in the history of Raw. WWE could easily replicate this, and for the names that fans can expect to cameo, here are some potential names, as the first one being, of course, Triple H. One of the most obvious names that will appear is Triple H. The game is head of WWE Creative, and he's one of Cena's most notable rivals. The two main evented WrestleMania 22, and he's likely going to be the first name to endorse Cena on the way out. There's also Shawn Michaels, as the history between Cena and HBK is well documented, and it's a given that the Heartbreak Kid is in attendance for Cena's final ever matchup. There's also a returning Seth Rollins, as Seth Rollins has already confirmed that he will be in attendance at the show this weekend. Recently, Cena directly named Rollins as one of his best in-ring workers he's ever wrestled, so Rollins should be expected to cameo and have an emotional moment with his real-life friend. And with that, of course, one of his other best friends, CM Punk. The rivalry between CM Punk and Cena is legendary, and there's no way that Punk misses the show. Seeing two arch-rivals embrace one final time would be fitting, and there are even calls to see Punk induct Cena into the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame class. One person who has been missing from many PLEs this year has been Randy Orton. Randy Orton is a name that is integral to the success of John Cena, and although Orton is currently absent from WWE TV, he would no doubt want to see one of his most iconic rivals walk off into the sunset. But what about the man who Cena defeated to win his first ever title, that being JBL? JBL still has a fantastic relationship with WWE, and with him being a name that Cena defeated for his first ever WWE title, a cameo from the wrestling god would be more than appropriate. But one of the really outlandish rumors out there is that The Rock could return one final time before the year closes out. Now, some fans believe that this retirement is a complete ruse, and The Rock will declare that Cena is not retiring until he says so. Let's not forget that The Rock still owns John Cena's soul. What if The Rock gives a very touching speech and then ends it with, but I still have your soul. Whilst it's extremely unlikely to happen, it would close out Saturday night's main event and 2025 with one of the most gripping storylines ever. There is always the chance that The Rock could make a surprise appearance and shake Cena's hand, and it would be a somewhat satisfactory end to their 14-year story arc. But then there's the big dog Roman Reigns, as John Cena loves to put over Roman Reigns any chance he gets. Cena likes to label Reigns as the new greatest of all time, and we can surely expect a cameo from the head of the table this weekend. Of course, John Cena's family will be there, and so will John Cena Sr. He's been present in a number of notable Cena rivalries over the years, and seeing Cena Sr. make an appearance to show love and appreciation for his son could be the moment of the entire event. But there's also the possibility of Vince McMahon returning at John Cena's last ever match. Now, the idea of Vince McMahon appearing at John Cena's final match at Saturday night's main event is probably one of the most intriguing rumors surrounding the event. Cena's retirement moment will undoubtedly be treated as a major milestone in WWE history, and of course, McMahon's connection to Cena is deeply rooted in the company's legacy. For 2 decades, Cena wasn't just a top star in the company, he was the franchise player, the face of the global expansion era that McMahon himself orchestrated. Naturally, because of the history, people expect Vince McMahon to be there for John Cena's final ever match. Now, on one hand, a Vince McMahon return to WWE would carry enormous symbolic weight. McMahon was the figure who elevated Cena from a newbie into WWE's most prominent figure, placing him at the forefront of WrestleMania after WrestleMania. Now, McMahon could have a surprise cameo, even just being in the crowd, not coming into the ring or anything, but just WWE making a small acknowledgement that McMahon was there in attendance. I mean, if WWE brought back Brock Lesnar, what's stopping them from having Vince McMahon return as well? Obviously, many fans would love to see Vince McMahon come into the ring, shake John Cena's hand in his final ever match. However, with Vince McMahon no longer occupying an active public role in WWE programming and the company moving forward under new creative and corporate leadership, his presence could obviously overshadow the event itself, making it less about Cena's retirement and more about the fact that WWE brought back Vince during these allegations that are still ongoing. Even if McMahon doesn't physically appear, the broadcast could include archival footage, video messages, or even subtle nods acknowledging his role in Cena's rise. But what about the appearance of US President Donald Trump? Yeah, there's also been recent rumors that since the event is being held in Washington, DC, WWE are pushing for Donald Trump to make an appearance at the event. Even Logan Paul was asked about the rumors regarding the US president being in attendance. He even mentioned that there was a possibility. We've talked about it, I have no idea. It seems like something that could happen. I think it'd be awesome to have Donald Trump at John Cena's retirement match, but I don't know how political the WWE wants to get, so I'm not sure. But Logan had to clarify his tweet further, saying, "No, when I say we, I meant the boys and I. We always speculate what the storylines will be because I like to enjoy the product both as a fan and performer. Quoting people in the WWE is inaccurate." Similar to McMahon, if Donald Trump makes an appearance at Saturday night's main event, it could overshadow Cena's retirement altogether. But are we forgetting one more? The Masked Man. What if the Masked Man actually makes an appearance at Saturday night's main event? We recently saw him on Raw and he looked totally different. What if this is the whole payoff to the Masked Man saga? The Masked Man could reveal himself as Chris Jericho. Now, we all know that Chris Jericho is WWE bound. And the question is, when does he return to WWE programming? While we don't know the exact date of his deal expiring with AEW, who knows, it could have already expired. And WWE may have put pen to paper on a new deal with Jericho returning to the company. This could be the end of one retirement and the start of a new one. Jericho is definitely coming back to WWE for one final run and be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. We could have Jericho being revealed as the Masked Man, and then closing off Saturday night's main event with one of the biggest cliffhangers ever. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.